if you say Texas is in front of BYU, you lost to Florida. You also got blown out by Georgia. BYU got blown out by Texas Tech, but BYU made a conference championship. Conference championship and the Florida and Georgia, just like the Texas Tech thing, it just doesn't correlate, man. You got to make a conference championship. And so that's why I believe BYU should be in front of Texas. And I mean, got to be honest with y'all. If you don't think any team on here is, every single team on here should be in front of Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt just does not have great wins, okay? They don't have great wins. And their only chances were Alabama and Texas lost them both, okay? But Texas, I could see jumping both, but not making conference championship matters. Losing to Florida matters. BYU has solid losses. Texas does not, and they didn't make conference championship. They also got destroyed by Georgia, just like BYU. So I don't feel like, BYU got destroyed Texas Tech. I see Texas Tech and Georgia about the same. So I just don't feel like that's much of an argument there at all. Okay. Now, you get here with me saying BYU should jump Notre Dame and Miami. Okay. Miami lost to Louisville and SMU. Okay. BYU has wins over those kind of teams. BYU beat 8-4 Iowa State. Same level as those teams. 8-4 TCU. Okay. It's like a replacement, 2 for 2. By the way, TCU beat SMU and BYU destroyed TCU. So if you want that kind of argument of a Miami fan, I don't get what you're saying. BYU also beat 8-4 ECU. You know, I can understand if you want to argue against that, but I'm just saying ECU is a solid team. But 2 of those games were on the road, and BYU won all of those games by 14 plus. Okay? The ECU game and Iowa State game were on the road, but yeah, like I said, they won all of those games by 14 plus. Okay? Miami can't say that because they lost to Louisville and SMU. So that's why I say BYU jumps Miami. Then, if you want to get a Notre Dame, BYU made a conference championship. Notre Dame is not in one. That matters. Okay? BYU lost to a Texas Tech team that's potentially the best team in the country. Okay. Notre Dame lost to Miami team. Okay. Miami's a really good team. Also lost to Texas A&M. I don't even know how good Texas A&M is. All I can tell you is Texas Tech is way better than both those teams. Also, I think here's the kicker. Notre Dame's win over USC is not as good as BYU's wins over Utah and Arizona. Utah's ranked 15, I believe. Arizona 17, USC 16. Okay, BYU has those 2 wins better than Notre Dame's. Okay, making the conference championship and those 2 wins better. Plain and simple, man. Okay. You got to win the games you're supposed to. Notre Dame, you got to beat Miami. You got to go beat Texas A&M. You're losing by 1. Okay. Now, people might say, well, people might counter my argument by saying Texas Tech is not the number 1 team in the country. Well, let's see it. But this is what I firmly believe, that they are one of the best teams in the country, and I think people will see that in the playoffs. Their defense is incredible. So, I feel like, to me, it's clearly obvious BYU should jump all these teams because Texas didn't make the conference championship. They lost to a 5-7 Florida team. Not good. They got destroyed to Georgia. BYU got destroyed. Texas Tech cancels out. Boom. This is just a refresher. BYU has wins over Utah and Arizona. That's a better win than Notre Dame has over USC. BYU earned the right to go to a conference championship. Notre Dame's not in a conference. Therefore, Notre Dame gets judged harder. Not being in a conference means you have to do more. And by doing more, Notre Dame needs to win 1 more game. They got to beat that Miami team or Texas A&M team, right? And BYU's loss is better than Notre Dame's in Texas Tech because that's potentially one of the best teams in the country. Okay. Miami. They lost to Louisville and SMU. Like I just said, BYU has wins over those kind of teams by 14 plus. And Miami's only good win is Notre Dame. Okay. And I also feel like Utah and Arizona collectively, that's better wins than Notre Dame. Okay. Maybe not. You can argue maybe not. You combine those, but BYU made a conference championship. Miami did not. Being to a conference championship matters, okay? I feel like it's clearly obvious there when I say that. But once again, with these conference champions and 16 teams, I think I'll make a whole different video with that. But here's the kicker, too. I think BYU should be in front of Alabama, okay? Alabama, BYU both made a conference championship. That matters, okay? Alabama lost by 14 at Florida State. That matters, okay? That matters, okay? It's not good. BYU doesn't have that. They lost to Texas Tech, potentially the number one team in the country, right? Then they lost at home by 2 to Oklahoma, okay? You got to win that game. Okay, you got to win that game. And then they got killed by Georgia in the SEC championship. BYU did the same thing. They got killed by Texas Tech. Alabama got killed by Georgia. But then people were like, well, Bama beat Georgia in the regular season. Yeah, but BYU didn't lose to Florida State. Alabama did. Okay? That cancels out, man. That cancels out there. But then Alabama has the additional loss. Okay? With Oklahoma. Okay? And then Alabama has wins over Vanderbilt and Georgia, okay? Utah and Arizona, they have that. Georgia and Florida State, right, for Bama, it's like canceling out. But then Alabama has the additional loss to Oklahoma. Georgia, Texas Tech championship cancels out. But Utah and I hope this is making sense. The way I'm explaining it, I don't think does, but in my head it does, okay? I'll lay it out like this, okay? So Florida State loss. All right. Texas Tech regular season loss for BYU, okay? Alabama getting destroyed in the SEC championship to Georgia. BYU getting destroyed in the SEC or Big 12 championship, okay? Alabama losing to Oklahoma. BYU doesn't have that kind of loss, okay? Did I already say the Georgia win? If not, okay. Alabama beats Georgia. Okay, great win. Okay, now they're even. Okay, Alabama beat Vanderbilt. Okay, solid win. BYU beat Arizona and Utah. Vanderbilt's same level as Utah and Arizona. Okay, I just don't see it, man. And even I would say that Florida State loss, especially since it was by 2 scores, that should count more against Alabama than sorry, what I'm trying to say is that should be more heavy weight upon Alabama. It's a regular season destruction. I can't even say that word. It's a regular season meltdown, okay, against that team. I don't care what time of the season it is, you lost to them. Not a good team. Okay, you got destroyed to Georgia. BYU did too. BYU has the wins over Arizona and Utah. Easy. BYU jumps in front, from what I see. Okay. Oh wait, we also forgot to mention Alabama lost to Oklahoma at home. BYU has no losses at home. Alabama only has that one home loss, but they lost Florida State on the road again, right? I just feel like it's pretty obvious. Plus, if you look at the last few weeks, if you really want to get into it, Alabama's just not look good, man. Barely struggling to beat Auburn. BYU, the last few weeks, they beat TCU by like 3 touchdowns. I mean, UCF's not a good team. But UCF, Auburn, about the same team. BYU wins by 3 touchdowns again. BYU was just like consistently looking better at the time. So, I mean, there's just a lot you can get into. I don't really see what you can argue against that. But there you go. There's my layout. You can take screenshots, look through it, but I really do feel like I have a strong case there that BYU should be. You have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. BYU's the 9th seed, right? Alabama's 10. Miami's 11. Notre Dame's 12. Texas is 13, 14 is Vanderbilt. I just feel like that's an easy layout in my opinion. And yeah, that's how we have things laid out for you.